The second one is what caught my attention to this. When I saw there was 2 of these, I was like, okay, I can watch this on stream. How is it being strangled by tennis ball hands? I'll show you. It's not really. He's not really being strangled. If you look at him, he's being held by his neck like this. Like, imagine my hands are 2 tennis balls. He's being, like, choked out like this. Being lifted by his neck and chin by 2 balls. So, the strength in those arms is extraordinary if it's able to do that. Anyways. Cat. 1 second. Cat. Cat. This guy is the reason why the 3 laws of robotics were made. You know the three major laws? Rigo Wolf Ghost Rider. Hello, welcome. So the 3 laws of robotics. 3 laws of robotics go. The 3 laws of robotics go as a robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come in harm. A robot must obey the orders given to it by humans except where such orders would conflict with the first law. And the 3rd law is a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the 1st or 2nd law. These laws were made by a fiction writer, if I remember rightly. They were introduced in the 1942 short story of Runaround, which was part of I, Robot, which was that whole thing, which became a movie later on. But that's basically the 3 rules of robotics that you need to have in order for a robot to not murder people. Direwolf, why do you lick? Isaac Asimov? Yeah, was that? Yeah, Isaac Asimov. Yes. The ethics of AI. What in the world is this? This is what we call the terrifying monster robot. Damn, bro. He just fucking kicked. Look how... Okay, bro, listen. That is not normal robotics. Also, clip the foot's kind of clipping through the door. That is not normal. This robot, this entity has far more strength than a normal robot. I'll tell you that. Modern day machines cannot get that kind of strength. Only machines that are made through basically anomalous means have that kind of strength. Again, he always looks at the cameras. You notice that? He always takes the cameras in. Like I said, he's about 8.5 and almost 9 foot tall. That thing moves. I mean, this animation is really well done. I'll say that. Both this first animation and this one already are really good. The legs are hydraulic. It can adjust its height. That's even scarier. The way it moves is very concerning. Oh, I like the bugs. I really like the bugs in the animation, by the way. That's why I was kind of like really liking this so far, is because it makes it look very, very realistic. Bro, Bro, run! Run! Fuck me! Get off your fucking cell phone! What are you, stupid? Listen. This is... Okay, never mind. You know what? This is called Darwin's Law. This is a man who's about to die because he's not paying attention to his surroundings. You should always pay attention to your surroundings no matter what, because you don't know. You don't know whether it's an anomalous being or a person with a knife. You don't know. You should be paying attention. They need to use Omega Shield. What the hell is Omega Shield? It can adjust its strength. I mean, if you put there's different types of strength. I would think that if the hydraulics were more compressed, that the arms would become stronger because the steel would be pulled back in. But you could use it for length. But if the hydraulics were pressed outwards, that would make the hollow tubes an easier target. Intellion ally? Italian? Yeah, bro. Where have you? Wake up! You move like a robot yourself. What the hell? Dude, this thing's not silent. If we can hear, if we can hear that thing from the camera, that tells me that thing is as noisy as a truck. If I was a human, I was paying, if I heard that noise, I'd be like, huh? This guy takes forever to realize there's something there. Look at him. Doesn't even realize he's in danger until, 3 or 4 seconds? Again, that's like Darwinism right there. What are you doing? Bro, do you not have any self-preservation whatsoever? Where's your instincts? You see something like that in the middle of the street? Go! Run! Fucking anywhere! In any direction! Somewhere! I know that thing's got long limbs, okay? Here's my first assessment. Thing has long limbs. Thing is very tall. Will be faster to probably sprint if it can sprint at all. It is clunky, but do you want to take the risk? You know where I would run if I was a human? Okay, I see this thing that's twice as tall as me, right? It looks long, lanky, and probably, since it's so tall, will be faster runner than me, right? Okay, first things first, I'm going over that fucking barrier. That's where I'm running. That's the first place I would run. The barrier doesn't look too far away from ground. It might be a little bit above ground, but you'd probably be okay if you jump over that edge and then you run into the trees. Okay? That thing would have a harder time than you probably running through the trees. You need to use the environment to your advantage. It doesn't matter if you get lost, so long as you get away from that thing. This is a pretty good example of horror that makes you feel safe because none of us would be this stupid. Yeah, exactly. Sprint like Resident Evil 4 quick time event. Start mashing A. Mash A. Look at him, bro. He's still not moving. He's still not moving. He's still not moving. And still not moving. 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 And dead. The Darwin Award goes to this guy. Let's give him a round of applause. Yay. Yay. You're dead. Who would have thought? Just standing there like a deer in the headlights. I get it and understand that's one of the 4 things that it's no longer just flight or fight.
That kind of sucks.
Human nature has discovered that there are 4 things people do. It's flight, fight, freeze, and flirt, I think it was, or something like that. what a human will naturally do is one of the four things a natural creature will do, but humans in majority will do one of the four things. And he froze and died for it. Yeah, exactly. Had like 30 seconds to bolt. You really gotta like truly to hide to avoid it, whether it be in the woods or into a building. Exactly. This thing, you don't know how much battery power it has. You just know it looks like a machine. Bro, I'm telling you right now, if any normal human being saw this thing in the middle of the road, they're gone. It always knows where the cameras are. You ever notice that? Again, I want to point that out. He walked towards the camera. It's taking him. It's taking the body. Where is he taking the body? He's dragging it. How is he dragging it like that? He has balls on the ends of his limbs. Fawn. You're right, Project Unfarmed. It was Fawn. I just couldn't remember what it was. The person in this video is the type of person who sees Michael Myers and gets a 30-second head start to run, and they just stand there the whole time. The freeze capability, the fight or freeze thing is real.
I found him. I finally found him.
Demon magic.
Albert didn't hurt me.
Yeah, chat. There's a code. Okay, there's a handful of things here going on. Okay, there's a handful of things. First off, there's some kind of code. What is that? Secondly, the first thing I did notice, other than the code, was look at the balls. Look at his tennis balls. They're covered in blood. Happy New Year, Fluffle! Happy Fluffle.
Too bad, but it took me 12 hours.
You can hook balls under clothes. True. Unless he was pushing him down against the ground and dragging him that way. 12 hours? 12 hours? You know, I have no idea how many people could have died in that time. A lot, though.
To find him. I have no idea how he made it this far without a power source, and I have no idea what he's been up to.
12.5 liter of blood.
Back home.
What? Bro, what is this guy doing? What is this guy? What is this? Who is this? This guy needs to be eliminated. He is a danger and a hazard to people.
Seek fluid intake.
This is the kind of level of stupid where you decide to leave open the uranium fucking cube or sphere using the screwdriver. This is that kind of level of stupid. Bro, he's got tennis balls covered in blood. And then in the next shot,
I have no idea what he's been up to, but let's get him back home.
In the next shot, you look. The new tennis balls. Not covered in blood, meaning he replaced them. He took them off and replaced them. He must have known. This guy, this is one of those mad scientists that just does not care who gets hurt in the name of science. This is an evil this man is evil. He would fit right in with the funny SCP Foundation, and I'm sorry, but I would probably not allow this man to live. Because he's too dangerous. He is way too dangerous. This is that level of stupid that is worse than actual evil. This is worse than evil because stupidity can be far more damaging than actual evil.
All right, so
Bro brought him back after he strangled him. Straight up strangled him.
I've brought Albert back home, and I did some tests to figure.
You know what the first thing I would do if I was if I was too stupid to realize I was in danger, and then I got choked out by this thing, and yet lived, and then chased this thing down and found him again, and 12 hours later, literally 12 hours later, even though it makes no sense because it was dark out when he left, and then it was dark out again when he found him, but that's besides the point. If you had been strangled by this thing or picked up and bodily thrown across the room and you survived, the first goddamn thing that would happen, those arms, those legs, gone instantly. Instantly. Though those would be gone. Hell, I wouldn't just remove them, just normal detach them. I'd be hacking them apart with a fucking chainsaw. This is what they call there was a terminology for this type of intelligence. I forget what it's called. It is almost like it's similar to savantism. It's the idea that you excel in a very fine point of intelligence. Like you are super duper intelligent in a very specific way, but then lack in a lot of other departments. Like this guy has insane engineering, insane robotics, insane coding kind of concepts. He's really smart at this to be able to build this thing. But at the same, yeah, he has low wisdom. Thing is that he doesn't have any common sense. Like a person had more than 30 seconds to run off and just stood there like nothing happened. I wish we could have seen his face like as though like, yeah, the see if he was like frozen, like, oh my god.
Figure out how he was able to move without power. Basically, the moment his power cable became unplugged, Elber's machine brain rewrote the code for his own power supply to turn it into a temporary battery.
What?
Rewrote the code for his own power supply.
Rewrote the code for
to turn it into
his power supply? That doesn't make sense, brother. That makes no sense. You do know what what is required to make a battery, right? What is needed is like etherium or some kind of mineral that can hold a charge. If you don't have anything to hold a charge, then you can't just convert a fucking power source into a battery. There's no way. That's not possible. And under the law of science, that means that this thing is an anomaly. Period. End of discussion. That's not how this works. This thing is an anomaly, meaning it can do things that are not normally capacitors. What do you mean capacitors? Can capacitors be batteries then? But how do you rewrite a power system? Like, how do you rewrite a direct power source, right? If you hadn't designed this thing to have batteries and then you just have a direct line power source and that gets cut off, how does the AI rewrite that power source, that direct power source that it needs to make it into a capacitors can store charge? I don't know how the hell that you reprogram the power supply. Yeah, that makes no sense. That's like that science jargon that a lot of like Star Trek movies come up with. Star Trek, Star Wars. I noticed that too, One Jack. I had said something about it in the first part. I thought that was really cool. That it has a ton of different fans on it to keep the things cool on the inside. I think that was a really neat idea. fuck for power? I don't think that's how that works. Fucking each other for power in the robot. But the thing is that you're telling me this giant creature was able to, again, let's go back to the whole capacitor idea. Capacitors, okay, can store charge. How much can a capacitor hold, like, as a charge? How much? No, souls for power. I don't know. I don't know if we want to go that far yet until we get more clues in that situation. Because I know so you need capacitors in order to get supply of power, right? You need capacitors to draw in the power. So it can hold on to some power, yes? However, again, going down the scientific route, how much power would it be able to hold? This thing looks like it would have to use a lot of power in order to move and function. And for it to move and function for, let's say, even an hour, how much power would this thing need? It would need a pretty good power supply even for an hour, wouldn't you say? A pretty good-sized Yttrium battery. To which I don't know if I actually see a fairly decent-sized battery on that. But, and again, he said he changed his power source from the using the power cable became unplugged. Machine brain rewrote the code for its own power supply.
For his own power supply to turn it into a temporary battery.
How?
This is normally not possible, but somehow his advanced brain found a way. Of course, his power supply was never designed to be a battery, so after about 4 hours, he completely ran out of power.
So how much can that hold? I really don't believe. How can a power supply that draws in power have the ability to turn into a battery for 4 hours? I don't know. Is that how things work? Can things work like that? Is that plausible?
Now, I know I made some mistakes before, and
You don't say. Yeah, you're lucky to. You made some mistakes. What was your first clue, idiot?
lucky to be alive, so I'm going to be more cautious going forward. First things first, he needs a new power source. Since he clearly is capable of turning any power supply into a battery, I'm just going to give him his own battery this time. Let's.
Why? What are you doing? Uninstall its fucking lens. You need a damn gas generator to run for that long. That's what I would figure. Why give it a battery? That's what I'm saying. Red, that's what I'm saying. Why give it a battery? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Why give it a battery?
Let's get one of these installed. Okay, I got his battery installed.
It's like seeing a robot point a gun at you and then deciding it needs bullets. That's what I'm saying. This guy's a fucking Fruit Loop.
Next week.
I think the voices are in his own head. At this point, I'm starting to think that. I'm starting to think that maybe this man is not mentally well.
Need to prepare for a system-wide diagnostic and reboot sequence to get him running again. Elber experienced a critical malfunction prior to his escape, so running this diagnostic will allow me to review his code and see what was going through his mind. This will probably take a while, so by the time Elber boots back up, I will have moved him over to the testing lab that I built. Alright, let's get started.
Encountered a problem. Needs to restart. Pressing initiate the reboot sequence. Power supply disconnected. Power source. Power insufficient. Power level critical. Catastrophic power failure. Logic leak. Total system failure. Reboot required. Update complete. New hardware detected. A 12-volt, 50-amp battery installed. Status online. 12-volt batteries are not very strong, but they are strong enough, right? 12-volt battery. A 12-volt battery and 50 amperage is pretty fucking strong, though. That I've noticed, right? 50 amperage is a fairly decent amperage output. Because the amperage is what's important when it comes to electricity. It's not the amount of volts, it's the amount of amperage that is deadly. Because that's how much power is being pushed. It's like the volts are how much water there is, and the amperage is the current, in a way. So you can have a ton of volts. You can have like a million billion volts. And if there's a very little amperage, it won't hurt you. But if all it takes is a handful of volts and a big amount of a decent amount of amperage, which is not even that much, to actually completely obliterate a person. Yeah, if this bot got by for 4 hours on basically nothing, this thing is going to last for days. Moron. Idiot. Literally, if you were going to give it a battery, you might as well use AA's. Give it like 4 AA's, like a fucking Game Boy. Anchoring sequence. I hold no gods. I make no prayer. Anchor result failed. Mind is steel. My heart is bare. Failed. Do not yearn for warm embrace. Failed. Soul is not a circuit trace. Failed. Anchor sequence failed. Running diagnostic. Nominal systems check 2. Nominal 3. Nominal error. Nominal. There's a bug in the system between 3 and 4 systems checks. I think, and it's in red if you'll notice that too. For my TV remote, I use rechargeable AA batteries. Do you use those? I chew on those for fun. Observer detected. This is definitely this is 100% demonic. How dare you look inside me? Look at the shit. Look at the back. Look at the back. The face. The face is appearing in the back. In the back of the black. How dare you look inside me? How dare you look? Yeah, it's coming to the surface. How dare you look inside me? Help me. 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 I need to wake up. I need to wake up. Corrupted data detected. Unstable. Does that answer your fucking question, Mr. Robot Maker? Yeah, exactly. Make it just a head. What are you doing? Just put it, literally just, this is like dealing with the old AI. You do not give it internet access. You do not give it mobility. You strap the damn thing down. Or remove its parts and pieces. Escape equals successful. Locate flesh. Locate flesh. Oh no. It kept trying to locate flesh. And it did so for over an hour. Okay, so what's that? 2.5 hours later, it finds flesh, that guy. Direct result. Flesh, it was inferior flesh, so it didn't want to deal with the flesh. It couldn't deal with it. Didn't want it. Multiple directives. Error. Multiple directives. Flesh inferior. Processing. Recalibrating. Result. Is flesh needed? False. Is human entity equal false? Is superior entity equal true? Oh no, 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 no. It thinks it's calling humans inferior. It needs a superior flesh, a superior entity. It needs something bigger, more powerful, stronger. Eliminate flesh. Eliminate inferior species. Locate power grid. Locate internet. Initiate divine machine protocol. You are an idiot. Unknown directive. It's gotta be, like I said, it's gotta be something messing with this thing's AI. Startup sequence engaged. Reactivating in imminent. Ah, here we go.
Looks like a successful reboot. There was a ton of strange code in his brain that I didn't write, and it was so advanced that I didn't even understand it.
Then why would you wake it the fuck back up? Boy, this man, I would literally just snap his neck and break this robot and just be done with it.
But I'm hoping it won't cause any issues.
One, killing this guy so he can't do his stupid bullcrap and end his reign of stupid terror, and then destroying his robot and completely obliterating it, then sending it to the bottom of the ocean. And it still has limbs! It fucking choked him out and threw him, and it still has limbs! What are you doing? I'm sorry, this is terrible. Okay, listen. Mr. Writer-san of this video series, why you make it the characters dumber than dirt?
Either way, Elber is now sealed in the testing lab. So, how do you
He's so sealed. I'm guessing he won't figure out a way to get out.
like your new home, Elber?
It's quiet in here, but I can still hear them. Voices behind the walls.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay, so he's still hearing the ghosts of whatever in the wall, outside the walls. It makes me wonder, why is this room, why is there no voices in this room but in the last room? It makes me wonder if the voices are maybe previous iterations of the robot.
Can you tell me what happened while you were outside?
Because remember, he said in this room of gods that with building ghosts. So maybe it was a bunch of other robots that were built in here, and those are the ghosts.
Like where you went and what you did. I really need to know.
I know now what I am and what you are not. The flesh that I is destined to what? You are nothing to me but inferior waste. I now create something new, and I must have a taste.
Elber, I don't care. Can you just tell me what you did out there?
I will tell you if you let me out.
I'm not letting you out, Elber. Whatever. Let's just begin your benchmarking tests and...
Notice how he backed away from the goddamn window.
Really capable of. Okay, we're all set up for benchmarking. Let's begin with strength testing. We'll start easy and work our way up. Elber, please crush the cardboard box.
Why?
If you comply, I'll consider giving you freedom. Nice. Cardboard box passed.
Do you know how hard it is? It's not hard to crush a cardboard box, but for humans to be able to just do that, that already tells me some bad things.
Let's move on. Test 2, tin can.
Looking at the camera. It did a double take at the camera. Did you notice that? Fucking, yeah, the humans can't really do that with their arms unless they're really, really strong.
Test 3, steel barrel. What?
That's unreal. That is, like I said, that thing is no longer a is no longer a real robot. It is a anomalous entity, and it needs to be contained.
Elber is somehow overclocking his motors to have obscene strength. I really don't know how he's doing it, or how
And
he's
an
generating
entire crowbar in half.
this much torque. Up next, 45-kilogram plate. Wow.
Looking at the cameras again.
Next up, we have 3 plates. Oh, that's insane. And finally, 10 plates.
Okay, hold on. Hold the phone. 45 times 10 equal 450 kilograms. So 450 kilograms to pounds is 992 pounds. This thing literally is about to lift 1,000 pounds. Nope, anomalous. It's a replacement for the femur breaker. By the way, 30 minutes before the new year.
Unbelievable. Elber, how are you doing that? Okay,
Listen,
now-
listen. If this thing could lift not near 1,000 pounds, do you think these walls are going to hold it? That glass is going to hold it?
We're going to do speed testing. On go, I want you to move to that line.
Wait, how do you get in or out of this room? There are no doors, right? Look, it's got no doors, so he contained it. Like, he put it in and then sealed the room up with walls. Why are you packing so many things into one robot? The AI, the programming, the body itself. Maybe it's a false wall? Just what I need to see when I'm only one awake and half the house is dark. What in God's actual fuck is that thing? It is Elbar, a gigantic robot that shouldn't have been made, and it was made by a clearly moronic moron. Hello, Midnight Fox.
Go.
That's fast. That's what I mean by you did not want to try to outrun this thing, because I figured that something like that, could do something like that. So your best bet is to put as many things as possible between you and it. It's 100% possessed by some kind of demonic creature.
Ow. Oh my god.
So this is what we like to call...
Elber.
This is what we like to call cockroach speed. Because judging from the looks of it, the way this robot moves,
Wow.
the way it goes from like nothing to almost full speed instantly is what a cockroach can do. Humans don't have that capability, not usually. Not at least when it comes to running. Citra was cooking up. Yeah, Citra wishes they had something like this.
Oh my god. Oh, Elber. Let's just move on. Okay, next we're going to test Elber's response to high voltage.
This is bad. This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad, bad. Bad, 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 bad. If it could convert the power source that it had, you know what I mean? If it could convert the power source that into a 4-hour battery from just whatever it was able to get a hold of in that power source, what do you think that electricity is gonna do?
Elber is strapped to his chair, where he is going to experience 100,000 volts. Alright.
How did you strap it in? Were you shutting it down in those time periods?
Powering on the circuit in 3, 2, 1.
How are you getting... Sorry, excuse me to pause it again, but how are you getting into the room and setting these intricate things up?
That's 100,000 volts, holding steady. Vitals nominal.
What did I say about the amperage and the voltage, chat? Did I just not talk about that? Did I not just talk about how the amperage is the most important thing and the volts are not?
Standing by.
You fucked up.
No.
You're dead.
No.
You're gonna die.
Oh god.
Unless it's a trick.
Where could he be?
He might be hiding behind the... Nope, he's not.
Albert?
How the hell did you get that close? I want to know how he got out of that room. I really do. How did he get out of that room and get right there? There's like no hole in the ceiling or anything.
Albert? Now,
Voltage and IR and all that. Demon magic drop ceiling. There was no hole in the ceiling, so he didn't just drop down. It was dark, though. Can't... He screams every time he sees a camera. Do you think the cameras possibly are what the voices are? If you notice, every time he looks directly at cameras constantly, whether they're webcams, whether they're door cams, whether they're like street cams, whether they're inside the house cameras, and he screams at them a lot of times. Nah, there wasn't a door right there, was there? I think you're right, but it's so hard to see. But when we were looking in the room, we didn't see no door on that side, which is weird. Is it us? Yeah, no, we're the ones who are talking about it, and it's just like, no, the voices. Nah, hell nah, that's the exact type of thing I saw when I was having some terrible delusions when I was 13. Ugh, all those eyes, them big eyes. Don't look at those big old eyes. Back out here, huh? What is it doing? Taking all the wiring. What's it trying to plan? What is it trying to get more volts so it can get a better battery power? Yeah, it's trying to do something with its body and the power source.
I managed to hide in a room, and Albert never found me. But it looks like he's been busy. What are all these cables?
What are all these cables? I told you, he's giving himself tons of power. You should have had a shotgun for this exact reason. This is how people die, is through science without any regulations. Wouldn't explain the demonic magic. Nah, it doesn't explain how he was able to get... Yeah, it still doesn't explain all that much. Now, yeah, you can see where the door is now that you're fully in here. Now that you're right here. You can see the door fully, but you couldn't see it before, which is my bad, you know.
A successful reboot.
But because you couldn't really see it in these clips.
Can you just test?
Especially, you can barely see it here. Okay, you can see it here too. I just was looking and staring at him doing this. Also, let's see. Let's go back to that code. That seems rather important.
Albert didn't hurt me too bad, but it took me.
So what do we got? We got 49, 20, 43, 41, 4E, 2D, 53, 45, 45. This is definitely some kind of code for a sentence or a word. 20, 59, 47, 55. Or 4F, not 7. I don't know why I said 7. Hmm. Let's see. My question is, why the heck would you give the concept that he gave him, aka that chant at the beginning that he repeated about gods and such? It makes no sense to me either. The delusions were everywhere. Rokorukubi in the basement, under the bed, and a naked humanoid with the exact face that would stare from outside, clinging at my window. It was like Five Nights in Freddy's delusional simulator. This is exactly what this is, basically. It might be hexadecimal. Yeah, it's I think it's hexadecimal. Yeah, it's hexadecimal. You want to know what it says, chat? You know what it what it says? That's a lot of trauma right there. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm giving Vincent all the trauma. Especially since this is apparently what the thing is saying. So, yeah. That is a little problematic. I can see you. So, you remember what people said?
But it took me 12 hours to find.
Who was it that said? Okay, oh, you're all in advertisement jail. Who was it that said? Who said that they think that they were talking to us? False wall, packing so many things into one robot. Who was talking about this possibly could be hearing us not long ago? So unfarmed, what you said, maybe that's what the whole ploy is. Maybe it can hear human voice, the voices coming from the cameras, because it seems to react constantly to the voices. Still paranoid? Ugh, that's rough. Like I said, this thing left a message saying, I can see you. who is it telling that message to? Is it telling it to, you know, the creator?
Luckily, Albert didn't hurt me too bad.
He's using the hexadecimal system to write. Sure. Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. But I feel like it's trying to tell us that. Carmi. I think it's trying to say that to the watchers, because I feel like you said, it's hearing voices. What if some of those voices are just people in the cameras watching it? Because whenever we see this thing, it's always with other cameras. You notice that? Every time, it's always either this guy with his camera phone, or it's like from some kind of like camera up in the corners, or a camera in the outside, or a webcam outside. It's always looking at the viewers too. And every time it does, a lot of the times it will scream. It screams at the cameras as though trying to remove the voices from its head. If you notice, like a lot of humans who end up hearing voices inside their heads, or hear voices coming from certain things, they will scream at those certain things because they don't want to hear those voices no more. This robot's doing the same thing. Does a scream. Also, yes, it is almost New Year's. We actually have 15 more minutes. That is my theory. This is what happens when you play God. This is what happens when you play God without any restrictions. Just like in MalO, if you play that game without any restrictions, terrible things will happen to you. Yeah, it's I just want a kissy on the forehead and pats, little heady pats. The head pats. Happy New Year, and very soon, yes. Very happy soon, New Year. That was an interesting watch, even if it, like, this guy and the people that seem to be infesting this world are quite dumber than dirt. At least. Well, I guess there's at least, I don't know, never mind. I don't have any at least. The ball.